Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a sample reading, and I'm using my chapbook packs in this reading. So typically all the ones that I finished are going to be packed up and sealed. And I realize now that this was a mistake because I just had to pull all of them open and work on them. So I'm guessing it's somewhere between 400 and 600 packets, and it took me about 3 days to fix them. So I changed the old card backs to the new ones, and put updated the backs for the printed cards. These packets don't have printed cards in them yet because I couldn't get any more printer card stock right now, because the only place that I was able to purchase things didn't have it, and then I don't have another source of money to get some elsewhere. But it's not a big deal because I have like at least 100 that have the printed cards in them right now anyway. So I've mentioned before in my channel that, and my advertising, that the chapbook packs can be used as an oracle, as like a few cards for an oracle reading. And it occurred to me when I was repacking these that I've never actually shown how that could be done. So I've been through all of them, I've changed the energy in them, and I think there's more of a focus on what these can be instead of me just, breaking down all of my old art that's not like fancy enough to sell as individual pieces. But it's sort of this realization that hit me that, it's not just trying to do something with, a foot thick stack of drawings, or 80% of 25 years worth of my artwork. It's like, wow, previous me, when I was, in middle school, high school, college, and after, was doing work relevant to what I'm doing now in my sort of fully realized adult life. It's like when I was obsessively making 200 drawings a year or whatever it was, I didn't know that they would become this sort of living divination tool. And they've all, like, everything's been changed. It's been cut down, glued to something else, shuffled around, put in with different stuff, pulled them out of the envelopes, put them back in the envelopes, and put them with different booklets, and where I feel like the power has increased. And now I sort of understand what to do with it. And I've been kicking myself because it's taking me a lot longer than I wanted to draw my angel deck. I started it in like fall of 2019, and I didn't make any of the final renderings until February. And it's been 2 months, and I'm 22% done with the drawings. But I'm like, well, what about this deck? These packets have been sitting around since I've been making them basically for 2 years. 2.5, 2 years. And maybe 3 years now, but whatever. Somewhere along the lines of like 2 years. And I've had them, I started making the little art cards out of old art small artwork pieces, I think in like 2006 maybe, going back quite a ways, at least around 2010, if not earlier. And it's been this gradual process, and now I sort of finally understand fully what it's for. You know, I was just sort of like, yeah, you can use it as Oracle. Go ahead and get it. You know, it's like a mystery pack. It'll help you with synchronicities. And I've said that before. But now I sort of understand that this body of work that's been sort of a byproduct of this necessity to create, to express some ideas that I was either thinking about or encountering or whatever. It wasn't just, it's like it means something more now. And at this point, it's like, well, now I don't feel bad if I think the picture is shitty, because the nature of it, something being what it is the important part. The rendering doesn't really make a difference, because if you look at one tarot card, you could see something that's like you know, I don't know if I want to say museum quality, but like photorealistic painting on one deck, and you know, a stick figure on another deck. It's the concept that's the important part. So now I can say, well, some scribble that I made in the margins of my notes in college now has more value, because it's able to hold the energy of a concept for people who are trying to gain insight into their lives. And this is where the power is coming from. So now these packets have a purpose, they have a direction, they have a focus. And that sort of realization of what I was sort of half-assedly trying to get to, until I had to redo all of these over the last few days. It hit me, and I was like, oh my god, yes, this is the thing. So this is a sample reading using these. And what I've done is I set it up as a pick-a-pile. So you can either, you know, look at all of these things, or you can say, oh, I'm only interested in one. So I've got a spiritual message, possibly focused on a blockage, right? Like, what is my energy doing? You know, like, what thing is frustrating me right now? And then specifically work, and then specifically love. So relationship stuff, work and finances, and then more of a spiritual thing. These sort of fall in line of like wands, pentacles, and cups. And it's like, well, where's the air energy? But this is the air energy itself is the process of perceiving and thinking. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So each of these piles has 2 packets. So there's going to be 5 or 6 pieces in the packets. Most of them have 6 now, because I've got all these little random scraps that I stuck in there. So it's going to have, well, these ones don't, but most of them will have printed cards that either have like images of stuff from Cafe Press, DeviantArt, Etsy, YouTube, and my Amazon titles for the Kindle Direct Publishing. So those aren't in these packets, but when I do the monthly horoscope things, I'm going to be using some of the rainbow envelopes that do have them in it. So I'm gonna get one of these out. So like this one. This one has 2 printed cards in it. So we have Amores, Blankets and Pillows on Cafe Press, and then Lantern from my Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. So these are not, these are just 2 of, you know, like a couple dozen different cards that are that I have. So these packets do not have the printed cards, but we don't really need the meaning that much. But there still can be something gained from these. But again, that'll be seen more in the, because I'm recording this in April of 2022. I'm going to have my astrology playlist will have these rainbow envelopes that still have the cards in them. But you don't really need that to get the general idea of what these are doing. So, because my battery is low, I'm going to put the other battery in, and then I'll get to these. But I've got 2 packets on each pile, and then I've got 3 cards from the mini Rider-Waite. And if I feel like it, I might get more cards. But in the meantime, I've spread them out. And these are totally random, so I have no idea what's in these packets. I've got 9 different booklets. So here's number 9, and there's 8 other ones. They have different poems in them, and they're all distributed randomly. All of the individual little artist trading cards in this little acetate or cellophane sleeves, those are all different. So it's very randomized, and the envelopes are different. Some of them are going to be the same. There's like 20 or 30 of these wrapping paper in this particular paper. There's a bunch of different magazine images, but mostly they're different. And then the ones that are actually artworks are all pretty random. Some of them are photos, some of them are prints, some of them are lined paper. I mean, here's a genie from Aladdin. Here's a photo I took when I had photography in college. That's now an envelope, piece of construction paper. So they're all very random, and any meaning could be taken out of any part of them, right? So the picture on there, the colors, you know, whatever. So again, you can choose spiritual stuff, work stuff, love, or all of them. And this is just a sample to show these packets in action. So I'm going to change that battery and come back and do the spiritual blockage pile. Alright, so I moved the camera off to the side because it's going to give me a headache if I have it right in front of me. So we're doing, move these out of the way a little bit more, the spiritual, possibly blockage pile. So let's look at these tarot cards first to see what we're talking about. 2 of Pentacles inverted. What's this guy? The Conehead. It's looking like sacral energy, root energy. There's the Ace of Pentacles upright. This one over here. And the Moon. Number 18. So I see kind of a through pattern here. I see some blue, I see gray, I see these yellow circles, and this sort of secret garden situation going on here. There's a little bit of blue behind it. It's like the universe offering you something, and you're like, dude, I don't know what to do with that. I'm already like drowning with this crap that I'm trying to handle right now. And then this moon cycle here, it kind of looks like someone's draining the pool. This is like, I've got 2 wolves inside me, and which one I feed wins. Like each of these dogs or wolves is one of these pentacles here. The moon is like secrets and fears and things like that. But also secretions. Again, with this idea of draining the pool, that's like I'm secreting all the water out of the pool. And I feel like these two pillars with the moon over it looks a lot like the two sides coming up to meet in the middle of this secret garden archway. But it's like, well, that's all well and good, but what does it mean? It's a sense of overwhelm. You know, like this might be what you really want. But do I, like, am I gonna, like, I'm already drained. My nervous system can't handle any more anxiety. Like, what do I need to do to get this? So let's look at this. Oh my god, look at this! This guy is like in a diving suit. What the hell, man? Could be astronaut training, but it looks like he's underwater. I don't know if this is from National... It might be from National Geographic. I had a bunch of science magazines that I was hanging on to that I chopped up for these. Okay, let's see what we've got in here. Packet numero uno. Okay, so we have these little squiggly figures here. Is that focused? This looks like an out-of-body experience, like somebody talking to their guides, or like you encountering your two wolves, basically. Okay. So this is that Admiral? Did I write it down? I don't remember. Oh, that's a Bastaron. Okay, whatever. This is a character from Madeleine L'Engle's book, Many Waters. So we have basically a crying angel here. The angel is weeping. He's like, I'm trying to give this guy, this guy, non-gender specific. The guide, the angel, is like, I keep trying to hand him the golden ball and he won't friggin' take it. Like, what the crap? Okay, and then we have an eagle. An eagle. Alright. Now, if I think about the eagle card in the hell is that called? Mystical Shaman Oracle. I think the number is 16. But there's this concept of, oh, the eagle grabs onto the sun. I think I'm thinking about the, I might be thinking about the Wild Unknown Animal Spirits. I always get them, sometimes I get those cards confused if I haven't used them recently, but the eagle is like, it can fly above the situation, it can see what's going on. This is being sort of bogged down by the details. This is like, I need to have a broader perspective. It's like I'm again, this idea of overwhelm. I've got too many things. I think this is setting up to say that there's guides available to help, because this awfully looks like being in the astral realm and you've got a couple guides coming in to help. Like, oh, this is my soul family, right? We're a pack. And I feel the way that the eagle is pointing towards this weeping angel, it's like, you know, even your spirit, even your guardian angel is stressed out at this point. Okay. So this is a little extra piece of crap that I put in here. Which way does this go? Oh. I'm like, which way did they go? I don't know, because I'm the one who drew it. This is the original, what the original work looks like. This is the mug print version of my drawing Submerge, which I just dropped. So this whole field behind here is the flower of life sort of extended, and each little piece of it has all these little squiggles of color in it. And you can see that's, I sort of drew it to, I colored it in to look like the yellow submarine. But this whole thing here, especially the middle bit, is about resonant patterns, frequencies. And then there's this mirror thing and then an echo in the background. There's still this idea of duality, right? There's two things, there's two pillars, there's two wolves, there's two spirit guides coming in. It's like I can't seem to find the pattern, right? I can't make a grid. All I can do is make a pulley system. I can't handle any more ropes. I can't handle any more, I can't spin any more plates right now. So this is the thing that we got. Just coincidental. That's the same as the one I showed in the intro. So this drawing is called Nebula Wearing the Rainbow Diadem, and she's got this little ball of light here, which is kind of what's being handed here. You could think of it as like a ball of energy, like a golden ball. And this rainbow diadem has to do with like a spiritual ascension kind of thing. I found out after I drew this card that there's this thing called a rainbow light body card. After I drew this, there's this thing called a rainbow light body, and it's drawn like by monks and stuff. And it's like a person sitting in this big like squiggly rainbow field. And it's like they turn their meat body into light without, like, essentially without dying, but they ended up like burning down into a little ash doll about 8 inches, and there's just like teeth and stuff in a pile. But this is really mostly about like crown activation and aligning all of the chakras. Here this ball is sitting in the solar area, but it's about, it's more about like self-confidence. I almost said self-consciousness, and opening up your body to resonant energies, which is, this is resonant energy as well. It's like, where are you going? I need to be in alignment with the pattern that my soul has assigned itself to. Right? This is, I've got a flat tire in my energy system. So let me actually skip through here and read one of these poems. Let me see let me choose which one would be, oh, probably Broken. Yeah, let's read Broken. Okay. Every time I shatter, I hope to God my feelings don't fall out. Someone will see them and tread upon them. I remember clearly the other side of the hourglass when I was me, free spirit, strong, spending my days reading, drawing, sewing, listening to records, watching MTV, Play-Doh, stuffed animals, dolls, when I used to make the rain dance, when I could see the music easily, when I was confident in myself, when I knew my purpose and I felt loved. I can see this memory of being me from my own eyes, trying to sift through the weight of the memories piled year upon year, 25 thick. I'm an outsider in these visions. All the time I have not been me. Surely it's not accurate. My calamity didn't begin. For a couple of years after that, I didn't descend into mortal darkness totally until 5 more upon that. Oh, but to feel that clear sense of self again. What wouldn't I give to have the clarity and simplicity and all-knowing complexity like I did when I was 3? I want to shake this hourglass until all the time is unified. Make the memories go back and forth until every grain of self touches every memory, every joy, and all the masked horrors. And I'll take up this hourglass, my arm is a sling, and murder it upon a fortress of unforgiving brick. Okay. That was cool. I like that. I haven't read that in a long time. And I don't remember writing that either. This is a little bit romanticizing the past. There's this idea of being caught between the past and the future and being overwhelmed because you're caught up with this idea of like, I'm running out of time. That's where the anxiety comes from. Like, one wolf is yesterday and one wolf is tomorrow, like the two lions in the Egyptian thing. This angel is almost like counting to 10 and then it's like hide and seek, like peekaboo, here I come. Maybe the angel isn't crying. It's like trying to manifest. It seems like the spiritual blockage has to do with the solar chakra, of being so caught up in being stuck in an old paradigm that you feel like you're not allowed to be who you're going to be. It's like being caught in this, like, I don't know who I am in the middle. Like, how do I be my future self? Maybe this is the past, the present, and the future self. And you're in the middle and you're like, well, past me looks like sick, but I can't figure out how to be future me that's healthy. This eagle aspect is trying to get you to allow yourself to naturally align with the vibration of who you are becoming, because the eagle can see the bigger picture, that you're sort of a pattern of your own self. You know, it's like the day and the night are both part of you. The past and the future are both part of you. And instead of being neither, you can be all of that at once. But you don't have to be like, oh, I'm still the crappy person I was 5 or 10 years ago, but I remember who I was when I was little, but I seem to have lost grasp of that. And this is this idea of having this sort of remembering who you are in your core. So this is what the spiritual blockage is. It's like a loss of self. Like I've got myself stuck together with duct tape, but if I take my finger off the tape on either side, it's going to come undone. So I don't have a hand to grab onto this manifestational offer. It's like I need to let go and let everything that isn't part of me anymore drain out of me. I'm going to leave that there. Oh, wait, no, I have another packet. I forgot there was another packet. Let me pick this one up so I don't... I got really into that and I forgot there was another envelope. I'm going to put that back together after. I forgot there was another envelope. Okay. Alright. So this envelope has a bunch of cartouches with different names in it. You know, this idea of like a king list. Like, who am I in the path of all history? Alright, so we have a snake. This is actually a finger, and the snake is a fingernail, and the finger is made of eyeballs. And we have a pottery with a kitty cat on its head. And then we have another angel here. So this is Mael. He's sitting on the water here. He's one of the angels of the 28 moon mansions. And he's got the wrong planets to go with him. So we have a photo. Oh, the kitty. So we have a newborn kitty. And Bougie. So this is just sort of like nurturing this like warm and fuzzy feeling of nurturing. Like when I was born, I had a sense of purpose. But it's in the, I became formed into something like mass produced. Like something pressed me into shape. And this is like, I need to, like something needs light shed on it, right? I can't quite put my finger on it. I can't quite see it, but something needs to, like I need something, like something needs to break open. A new skin needs to come in. And also this idea of the snake being all squiggly is like another resonant pattern. Let me just look at this real quick and see what's in here. Yeah, we're going to read Double Star System. Dark is the night sky, silver pools reflecting. Rinsing down a softness, the twinkling light dries it, snuggled warmly in its caresses. Oh, kitty. Beauteous is the moon, the stars twinkle approval. A comet sears the curtain, streaming its blazing fronds. Fiery in the darkness, restless and bold, striking static arches. Frantic lightning surges at each tender kiss. Okay, so that, I think that was originally intended to be like a love situation when I wrote that, but this idea of, it's sort of like being kissed by lightning. Like the comet comes in and it you know, explodes and creates some kind of destruction, but it also brings a flash of light. Like there's something being illuminated, and it's bringing more attention to this moon. What's being destroyed is this fixation on the past, this feeling of stuckness. I only have 20 seconds left, so I'm going to end the reading there, but it just reiterates what I was already saying. So I guess it was just a recap. So that's the end of this pile, and we'll see you at the end. Alright, so we've got this work pile here, and I've got my tripod on the friggin' cord. Alright, so work. So let's see what we've got for cards. When I was doing the spiritual blockage pile, I forgot that I had 2 packets and almost ran out of whatever. Okay, so we have 3 of Wands inverted, the 5 of Pentacles. What's that? That's a little better. Although now it's blurry on the table. And the 5 of Swords inverted. Okay, so let me get this back to the table focus. The way this is spread out reminds me a little bit of the way that the cards for the other pile, what is that schmutz on there, came out. So I have a 3 sandwiched between these 2 5s. 5s can, I'm going to put this way. It's like a story going on here. I guess that's a little bit better. No, I liked it better the other way. The sun in Aries. Usually when a sun card is inverted, it tells me moon energy. 5 of Swords. Venus in Aquarius, but it's coming in inverted. That makes me think of retrograde energy, Five of Pentacles. Mercury in Taurus, traditionally, although I did reassign it Uranus in Taurus, which would correspond with the Aquarian energy over here. This indicates I feel left out. Like, oh, I didn't get the promotion. Where's my paycheck? Where's my money? Like, I have to make do with equipment that's broken. And they're blaming me for the work not getting done. You know, no one's buying my stuff. This is like... I'm thinking no hope for the future. Even though it could be like I can't see what's coming. It could also be I can't see what's coming because I'm stuck at looking at this situation of feeling like all the effort I put in is never going to amount to anything. You know, how can I take a flying leap off the hill when I can't even get up off the ground? That's a reference to the Fool. The Five of Swords is my mind games card. It can also be like last man standing kind of energy. Here it's inverted. It's like it's a little bit like laying down the sword. It could be I'm not going to play these games anymore, but it could also be like I give up. Like I'm not going to keep fighting everything off. So let's see what's in the packets. I gotta remember to use both of them. Let me do the wrapping paper first here. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. There we go. Alright, this is Peppermint Swirl. This could be like, oh, I didn't get my Christmas bonus. Or like minty fresh, but not so much. Alright, so this might be Cinderella. Could be a rags to riches story. Sort of damsel in distress kind of energy. And also this idea of Cinderella, like slaving away, being treated like crap. Maybe she wants to go to the ball, get a little dressed up. We have a goose. It's called a snow goose in the book. This is from Madeline Langle's book, Many Waters. So we have a goose. And a snow goose. No, what's interesting is I think I had read at one point that a snow goose was a Native American, like, astrological sign that roughly corresponds to Capricorn. And we have this idea of Christmas, and then it's sort of snowing here, this little, like, kind of Scrooge energy here. Alright, what's this? Okay, this is a thumbnail for a thing that I made for somebody. This is, like, swirling energy, and then a hand that's gray, that's low energy, receiving energy from a hand that's a higher energy. It's like I'm receiving energy from the universe, from my guides, from wherever. Like fairy godmother kind of energy. This character is Albiel. It doesn't matter the name. It's just the idea that this is an alternate form for one of the seraphim in the book. So what we could have here is that there could be an animal, like some kind of animal guide that you have, like a pet or something that you see when you leave and it lives in the area, or that keeps showing up. Like you turn on the TV and there's a commercial with a goose in it. you get in your car and the radio says something about blah, 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 loosey goosey. And there's that word goose again. I don't know, you turn on the TV and South Park comes on and they're singing that Bullet in the Bubba Goose or whatever the hell that song is. But just the idea of the word goose, right? You go to the store to get some food and there's like Mother Goose butter or something like that. It serves as a synchronicity, but this like a animal spirit guide kind of energy. It doesn't have to be a goose, but it's saying that it's sort of like your guardian angel is going to bring you energy, your fairy godmother, but there could be an alternate form of an animal. So some kind of animal spirit acting on your behalf. So here is the booklet that came in that packet and the wrapping paper. This is oil pastel on matte board originally. It was a little artist trading card that I drew called Seasick Devil. Okay. So you think of the devil energy, right? That's Capricorn energy. That's Xmas. There's pentagonal energy. It's being bound to something. This devil is here on the ocean. He's on the water and he's seasick. Right? I'm tied to my emotions, but it's making me ill. I'm tied to some kind of psychic block where I can't see what's coming and it's stressing me out. Like it's getting me in the gut. So what do we have in here for writing that with we're going to read Ghost. I break once more, threadbare strands collapsing, no longer able to bear the strain of being held taut. My fabric is but gauze, there's not substance enough, no sound can be held within, and none deign listen. Their mocking wrath, assumptions, they have no temper for mirth, I am a jester kicked to the trough. Trough, whatever. Trough. I don't know why I read that wrong. I'm a jester kicked to the trough. I would wail that I could and match my mourning to this shroud. My lament goes unheeded. The veil of my eyes lifts to nothing but specters. Okay. This is that sort of forlorn feeling, like a chewed up piece of garbage kind of feeling that comes in with this energy of, fighting and straining and nothing seems to be happening. I'm in rags, I'm being worn thin. So let's see what's in the pink thing. Cinderella's party dress was pink that the stepsisters ripped up on her. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. So we have... Okay, so this is a little clipping from one of these books that there's something wrong with it and I had to cut it up. This is the same image that was in the spiritual blockage pile. But we see this idea already of I am feeling nauseous. It's making me sick. There's an attack on my solar center, and we see that here because the sun is inverted. There's anxiety. I can't seem to become what I want to be, because I'm being kicked to the curb or left out or nobody sees me. I'm unseen. Oh, give me the thing. Come on. Okay, so here's a little sketch of a dinosaur, and there's some weird little geometric shapes here, like maybe origami. Things that are... like one sheet of paper can be folded up into different things, right? I might have been trying to make my life into something else, but if I open up this square, I can refold myself into something else. This is Saltopus, perhaps, which is the size of a chicken. And a chicken is awfully close to a goose. There's this idea of like a small something small that's keeping an eye on you. Saltopus. What is that? I used to know what that means. I don't remember what it means anymore. Something about his feet. I don't remember. When I was 5, I knew what saltopus meant. But now that I'm old... Oh, I'm not taking these out. I forgot what I was doing. Okay. So this is geometric shapes, right? So we have this triangular shape here, but here it's got this black and white thing going on, and here we have a triangular shape and it's scalloped. And this idea of changing shapes. This is a little crappy sketch of the seed of life, which becomes the flower of life. It's this idea of I'm starting with this fabric of the universe, might be threadbare, but I can grow it. I can grow this stem cell into anything. I can remake myself. Oh man, this is a deep cut, this one. This, oh, Dog Poop Pan by Whammo. Misspelled because that's clearly an N. So this is a dog that is using a litter box, apparently, and there's little footprints all over the place. But again, there's this idea of a little animal, and it's like I'm cleaning up this crap in my life. Like I'm trying to invent ways of tidying up what's going on. But there's also this idea of like anxiety. So the dog is like, yipe. And also this idea of that solar chakra energy again, because if your solar chakra is taking a hit, it can cause digestive issues, and you might be just going about your business and suddenly wish you had a litter box. All right, so here we have another booklet. So this is a cat we had. His name is Elvis, and that's why he is dressed up like Elvis. The watercolor that I drew. Again, this idea of he's dressed up as somebody else. Didn't I say? I'm dressing up as somebody else. I'm shape-shifting. What do we got? Oh, okay, we're gonna read cool. They think it's cool to make me a slave, to drain all I have until I'm barely alive. They think it's cool to make judgment, to berate me when I come for help. They think it's cool to speak sultry words but then walk away as if it's just a game. There is no warmth. The salt crystals and the glazed crystals are the same bitter tears. I dig my own grave in this frost and grow cold in my coffin of ice. So the poem is speaking to this idea of feeling abused by people, of I'm giving up. I'm just gonna let myself be frozen out. But it's sort of like this version of yourself might be locked out, but you can put on a different outfit. You know, like if you feel crappy wearing this suit of, you know, low man on the totem pole at this job, and they're playing games with you, and you know, you never get that promotion that you're promised, or the work isn't panning out, there's this idea that your guides are on standby. There's a synchronicity probably involving some kind of small animal that is there to sort of help lead you into or out of a closet, that will give you a new outfit to wear into the world, right? And that it's kind of like, it's a little bit like dress for the job you want, but it's like being outfitted. Like, I have the gear that I need, I have the tools that I need, I'm preparing. But it's also this idea of shape shifting in terms of getting ready to, it's sort of like I'm going to be somebody different. Like, I'm not going to be, you know, Joe Schmo at the copy center. I'm going to go be like my real identity over at, you know, public speaking job or something. You know, I'm going to go be a doctor instead of, you know, carting somebody's dirty undies from one floor to another. That's the kind of shift. Now, it's not to say that, you know, people who cart dirty underwear around from one floor to the next are bad. It's just in terms of, like, whoever's managing that department is sort of keeping you in a lower state, in a static state. And a lot of that sort of locked out, messed with your head, no hope for the future kind of stuff is there to sort of force you to change the direction in your life, and saying, like, this isn't working. I thought I was going to do, you know, I thought I was going to go work here and I was going to earn some money and then I was going to go on to the next thing. And then the universe is like, we told you like 8 times, you have to shift now. You can't just coast through until you feel ready. It's sort of that icy shock of saying, like, this environment is hostile and you have to be proactive in terms of changing your life, whether it's convenient or not. So that's what's going on with work, from the, in association with the packets. I've got 6 seconds, so I need to end this segment. So we're going to say bye. Alright, so I have this love pile here. Let's look at the cards that we've got. Ace of Cups. Trying to get this where it's friggin'. There we go. There we go. So Ace of Cups. 2 of Wands, as if I could remember what it's called. And the Hermit. It's giving me sort of a 3 wise men kind of a feeling. Like they're all sort of going in the same direction. Hermit is Virgo energy. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. And then we have 1 and 2. The Ace of Cups. This is like I'm thinking about this. This is what I'm looking at under a microscope. And it's like I'm thinking about me, thinking about me, thinking about this. Like I'm thinking about the person I was 2 years ago, however many years ago, trying to make a decision. I've got the whole world in my hands, and what do I want? What do I really, 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 really want? Sometimes Virgo energy indicates to me the inner child, but here I'm not really feeling that. I'm feeling more of a measured growth kind of an energy. Okay. So this envelope is the genie from Aladdin. There's the rest of him. The genie is like a guardian spirit kind of figure. And there's also this idea that the genie is bound to you. He's supposed to grant you the 3 wishes. I just heard the part from Monty Python where they're going to throw the holy hand grenade. And King Arthur goes and he counts 1, 2, 5. And the guy's like, 3, so 3, 3. Because he can't friggin' count. The 3 wishes. What's this? Okay, so this is just a fashion design. But we have somebody who's dressed up in semi-active wear and they're looking to go somewhere. They're in an active pose. The genie is somewhat active, but not overly so. She also is giving me like a sort of a 60s vibe. Did I? Oh, that is not... That's kind of disturbing me, but I don't have a date on that image, and I don't feel like looking it up on my computer right now. Just put circa 1998 on there. Although that could be from 2004, but whatever. One of those times. Okay. Something crusty in my eyeball. So we have different forms of vessels. There's just a regular pitcher, and this one is shaped like a heart. So this is a wedding jar, and I think this was like a South American thing where they would have a pouring vessel with 2 spouts, one for each person in the relationship. And when they got married, they would break it, symbolizing that they were together. Or some such. I actually have the one that I made. I kept it. Okay. I don't know if that's going to fit underneath the camera. I might have to hold it up for a second. There we go. That's the one that I made. So this is a wedding, an interpretation of a wedding jar. Hand, fingers on there. And the other, the thumb. Okay. Alright. And here's a little sketch of that. Right there. So it's a rough, it's sort of heart-shaped. This thing is really heavy, too. So there's this, and also the genie comes out of a lamp. So she could be sort of an I Dream of Jeannie kind of figure, but she's, you know, also from the 60s. She's dressed up because she's trying to blend in with the, is it Major? Captain? Whatever that guy that she was with. I don't remember what his rank was, but she's trying to blend in with the humans. Okay. So this is kind of a spiral staircase situation, which reminds me of the 7 of chalices, the 7 of cups in the Syrian Starseed Tarot. And this is an idea that there's, a lot of people say it's options, but for me it's usually distractions. And it's sort of like, if I could wish for anything, what do I want? Well, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need that. But there might only be one thing that you really want, that you really, really want. And it's like, well, I have to think about it. 5 minutes ago, when I was more immature, I might have wanted something different, and now I have to really ruminate on what is my most important wish, the Ace of Cups. Like, what is my heart's desire? What fills me up inside? So this, there's a duality here too, because I got 2 owls. So this is a reproduction of an acrylic painted artist trading card that I made as part of an Ancient God set. So this is Lilith. And I've got her pictured here with these 2 owls, which is kind of how she would normally be pictured. And there's sun disk with wings on it. And when I was working on these packets, I was thinking, well, what would Lilith represent in a reading? I mean, first of all, the owls can represent what owls would normally represent, which is information coming in, which is part of the reason to be in hermit energy in the first place. This case, it's not information coming in from your guides necessarily. It's I just heard like what you can do for your country kind of a thing. Like your guides are working for you, not necessarily you working for your guides. But the information is coming from inside you, right? She's in the solar chakra. It's all golden in there. But the owls can represent downloads and information, wisdom, that kind of thing. But Lilith also represents this idea of not necessarily doing what you're told and or not settling for less than a relationship that you sort of dream of. She might have been like slightly racist or slightly snobbish, but the general idea was that she was supposed to be Adam's first wife and she refused to mate with him because he wasn't on her level. She wasn't a god. He wasn't a god, right? He wasn't it's sort of like it's like if she like from her perspective it would have been like bestiality. And she refused to try to produce offspring with him. That's the general idea. There's more specific variations, but from the things that I've read, that's kind of the basic story of it. She's also, I think she's used as kind of a lesbian, feminist kind of icon, but I'm not sure how or why, but she's also sometimes considered evil. So let me see what's in this packet that I can read. I think we're going to do my Mirage, because it has the idea of reflecting and looking into a crystal ball or a flame or a cup of water. Just out of reach, almost to the waters, I shall drink from this fount of plenty, the desert heat wriggling up and down me, crystalline blindness. I cut the thirst from my body, I need this nourishment. Fill me with the cooling essence, let me breathe life. As I reach the oasis, the crystals don't fade. There's nothing here, relief is still far on the horizon. Okay. Now, if you see the desert, we see Genie, right? Aladdin took place in very sandy, hot climate. This is possibly desert area here. I also just heard deserted, in particular emptiness, right? Because if you're missing your heart's desire, there's an emptiness there. But there's this idea of I see the water, but like in my mind, but I can't get to it. So let me see what's in this other packet. So this is a photo, a blurry photo of an orchestra. Oh, that's just my signature. Okay. So this is Lotus Peacock. This is the only image I have of this because I had to give it away before I had a good camera. Or sold it or whatever. This was carved mat board colored in, and there's a reproduction with some extra background stuff in my Energy Forms coloring book. Okay. Sorry, I just died for a second. The lotus petals are similar to it's like an extension of the form in the flower of life. It's a lotus right here, like so. So it's that expansion of energy in the universe, the natural fractal pattern of growth the fabric of the cosmos and all that. And I know I said because it makes it sound like I'm making stuff up, but in the noun retrieval issue problem, the wild unknown animal spirit deck, the peacock is the animal that's been through a lot and sort of succeeded. It could also be sort of preening, like look at this peacock over here strutting around, like who does he think he is kind of stuff. So we'll put a pin in that for a minute. Okay. So this is a duality shape. It could be a vessel or it could be a face, right? It's an outline, like a rough outline, but there's a mirroring going on here. Okay, so this is an unknown character from a Grimm's fairy tale. And it could be Cinderella, it could be Allerleirauh, which I think is the German name for her. It could be any number of maidens or princesses that had to wear crusty clothes and clean and be in the dirt and stuff. It's giving this idea of... It's giving a little bit this idea of someday my prince will come. Right, there's a vision of somebody fancy out on the horizon. Like, who's that over there in the thicket? Like, ooh. Like, who's he? He's hot. And it doesn't have to be, like, a woman looking for a man. It's just the energy, because peacock is a male animal. Like a feminine looking for a masculine. But, everybody harbors both energies. And it doesn't really matter either, because we see masculines and feminines popping up throughout the reading. So Virgo energy is usually thought of as female, but there's an old guy on there, right? Because there's like a wizard. Okay. So we're looking at this booklet here. So this is Mael. He's an angel of the Moon Mansion. One of the 28 or 29. So we have another guardian... spirit guide kind of energy here. Let's see what's in here. It's relevant to this reading. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm tired. So we're reading feels. There are souls who exist trapped within my subconscious, who slip from their bindings, emerging on occasion to stroke the scars of my heart. Okay. This is giving me this idea of, this Seven of Cups energy. It may not be distractions, it may not be options, it could be people that I've interacted with in a love situation in the past, and or templates. Right? What is the pattern that I learned from my parents or adults around me? How have I interacted with my exes, if you have any? Because not everybody has an ex. And especially in terms of online situations, it can be like, oh, well, we're having a relationship online, but if you break up before you meet in public, it's like you can't really call them your ex if you never, went on a physical encounter with them, but you can be, there's still an emotional exchange going on there. There's still, their energy is still stuck to your energy field. There's been a transaction there. And it can sort of stays in your little interior world. But it can be this, it can cause, the scarring is still a real emotional thing, because you're dealing with energy. You can't program the other person to react how you want them to or expect them to react. And the act of not seeing each other in person could also be scarring in that way too. That's I don't think that's like an everybody kind of situation, but I think in the world that we live in today, especially since, you know, global situationing, it's more common. I'm going to start another segment because I'm not ready to be done talking yet. So the takeaway from the two packets and the cards in this reading is that past templates and interactions can leave you sort of staring into your soup, trying to figure out where you're going, and being sort of confused as to, well, I've got this idea. I know what love is, but I haven't been able to find it. Like, maybe it's over here. Maybe it's inside. Where is it at? Like, maybe if I keep picking up all these dirty old broken pots and rubbing them, a genie will pop out and be able to grant me this wish. You know, like, what's the vision? What's the, ooh, who's that over there? You know, but the ultimate thing is that there's somebody that's there to mirror you in some way. And it doesn't mean like, it's not necessarily like, oh, I want somebody who's just like me because I'm in love with myself and I'm, you know, I only want to, you know, it's like, have I been with somebody who's not compatible with me energetically? Like, have I been shunned? Have I been relegated to a lower vibrational situation? And even here with this orchestra thing, it's like, if the violins are playing a different tune than the horn section, it's gonna sound like that real shitty car commercial they keep playing on the TV. Every time I go downstairs, it's like metal being ripped apart. You need to stop that. Anyway, this idea of the wedding jar, right? It's like, if I'm bound to a love that's enduring in some way, there's a connection, right? But it's very loose in terms of the entire vessel, where the water is, where the emotions are, right? We're sort of the same vessel, but we're two different individuals who are sort of loosely connected by this idea that there's something about us that is mirroring the other one. Or sort of like, we're not identical, where one of those cute little salt and pepper shakers where one of them's just ever so slightly different and they're magnetic and they stick together. It's one of them, in order to be magnetic, one of them has to have a south pole, the other one has to have a north pole with a magnet for them to stick together. Right? Even here, the owls I've painted are more or less the same, but one of them is looking that way and the other one's looking straight ahead. There's a matchiness, but you're still going to have a left sock and a right sock. Or a left shoe and a right shoe, because socks are pretty much the same. But unless you're hand making them, you're knitting them yourself. I think is there anything else here that should be said? I'm not sure. I think the issue is almost like over analyzing yourself. You know, like, instead of being, is it out there? Is it in here? Is it out there? Is it in here? It's sort of, the idea is to, you want to kind of be, you kind of want your guides as your wingman to go out there and be involved with somebody, and to sort of give you little pushes along the way that help you navigate. You don't want to always be looking outside yourself for approval. But this sort of isolationist, nobody's ever going to be good enough for me, or I'm never going to be good enough for anyone else. That kind of insular thinking can also break down a relationship. So hopefully this is enough information, even though there isn't any great wrap-up conclusion, to help people think about how they interact in a love relationship and what may or may not be off or missing. And again, this is just a sample of using the chapbook packets. So I'm just gonna make sure I've got the piles that go together where they're supposed to be. Not because they can't be mixed up, but because I want to make sure they fit in the envelopes. So that was the sample readings. And hopefully that was interesting or useful. So let me get this over here. Some handy CBD products for my friends that I just pan the camera over in a not subtle, friend boosting kind of way. Okay. Unpaid promotion because I love my friends. If you found this useful or helpful or interesting in some way, and you're enjoying my free content on my channel, please consider energy exchange, tip jar, donation. It's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, all Cat the Minion. So if you're looking to get these packets for your own divination, whether you're professional, amateur, semi-professional, whether you're doing it for yourself, if you have a channel on YouTube also, or you just do some for clients, out of view, whatever, if you're doing tarot for yourself or others, and you want some of these, I've got like 400 or 500 of them at least. I think on Etsy, over on Etsy, I've listed like 150 because I knew I had that many and I didn't feel like counting them. And because the way Etsy is set up, I can't do like if you buy this many, it costs this much. So if you get more than 3 items in my Etsy shop of any item, you can get 17% off with coupon code 3star17. If you want like 30, 40, or 50 of these and 17% off your total order seems odd, I might be able to come up with an additional coupon code for a larger percentage off, but that's only going to be for the chapbook packs because it costs a lot of money to for the envelopes and the ink and the paper and the time that I've put these together. So in general, the more of them you buy and you want them cheaper, coupon code 3star17 for 17% off. I'm gonna get, I think that's all I wanted to say. I do personal readings, so that list is going to be in the description box down below, and you can get the PDF for that on my WordPress, or you can email me. It's got little pictures on it. This video is going to be part of my readings for sale playlist, even though it's not technically demonstrating a reading, it's demonstrating a divination tool, but that's fine. And I also have PDF you can print out of my paper charms on Etsy, and I have 2 proof sets already printed out that you just have to cut them out. You can color them in, you can glue them to stuff, you can put glitter on them, whatever you want to do. So those are on Etsy, and those are also on DeviantArt. Got merch and prints and coloring books, and my dark poetry book Lantern has all, like, I think it has all of the writings in these. There's 9 of these booklets, and Lantern is like 90 pages or something. It's got most of or all of these writings in it. So if you want a little anthology, you can go ahead and get that, and then you can flip through that if you want to. I think that's it. Tarot, drawings, merch, prints, and foam lotuses on Etsy. Got a chakra set, which is handy. What else am I doing? I'm still working on my angel deck, so that'll be available when I finish it, and then when I figure out how I'm going to publish it. So stay tuned for that. I think that's it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab. That doesn't exist anymore. Check out my playlists tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.